Hello and welcome to Talk to Downtown. My name is Courtney Wood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the Downtown Stockton Alliance, the 501c6 nonprofit property-based business improvement district serving downtown Stockton. This series is intended to connect our business owners, property owners, visitors, and residents with the organizations, people, and resources which impact our community. Today we have special guest, Sandy Regalo. She is the San Joaquin County Administrator, so I'm very excited to talk to her today. We'll begin by having Sandy share a little bit about her background and how it led her to working for the San Joaquin County. Then I'll go through a list of questions I've outlined for her, and at the end we will open it up for viewer questions. So if you do have a question, please type it in as a comment, and we will get to it towards the end of the live. And with that, I just want to say welcome, Sandy. Thank you so much for being here today and being our guest. Please tell us a little bit about your background and your role over there at the San Joaquin County.
Well, thank you. I appreciate, Courtney, you having me on because you're going to learn that I'm very new to this role. I am starting my 26th year in county service, but excuse me. And so I'll just go into a little bit how long I've been working for this county. It's about 10 years. I'm starting my 11th year. I worked in Stanislaus County prior to this for 15 years. And so a little bit about the county administrator and how I got to this position. I've worked a number of jobs in my county government experience. Probably very early on, one of the best experiences I had probably in my second year of county government, I worked as a board aide for the Board of Supervisors. And that gave me, I really loved it. It gave me the connection with the board. I could really see how they impacted the community and the decisions. And from there, I loved it. And so I knew I really wanted to stay there in that type of work. Then I went over to the county administrator's office and we worked very closely with the board. And I knew that. And so doing quite a few jobs there in management, mainly for the last 10 years of my county service in Stanislaus as a management analyst consultant. And there you work on, you get departmental assignments. And I had several of the departments, the DA, behavioral health, and special projects like the jail medical contract. So then after that, after being there 15 years, there was a good opportunity over in San Joaquin County. And then I made the move over here. My first job here was a senior deputy county administrator. And that's an analyst doing the same, departmental budgets, special projects. And from there, I took a promotion to our chief deputy county administrator in 2019, I believe. And then doing that, I was the budget coordinator. And so that's being in charge of the entire county budget, working with our analysts and our department heads. And then in 2021, I was promoted to the assistant county administrator and gained a lot more responsibility, working more in line with the board at that time and all of the department heads as well. And then here just recently in March, I was given the opportunity to be the acting, then interim in March. And then the board just appointed me on June 4th, effective June 17th as the county administrator. So in my role, not quite a month yet officially, but have been doing it for a long time.
Wow, you have so much experience in all these different kind of parts and pieces, and it's all culminated in this awesome, position. So congratulations on becoming the San Joaquin County Administrator. And can you tell us now, what exactly are the duties and responsibilities for you in this new role? It's a huge role.
Yeah, and it is. So mainly, I guess, I would be my main role for the board. I am the manager of our the county functions, the day-to-day functions. So I'm manager of the county budget. We prepare, not me by myself, but with my chief, deputy, the budget coordinator, and the analyst. We prepare and are responsible to bring that up, an annual budget to the board and to maintain that through the year. So that's mainly what we do, and we oversee, we have departmental assignments, our analysts do. So that's mainly what we do, working with our departments to make sure they're following and kind of fulfilling the board strategic priorities. And that's what we do.
Awesome. Thanks for summarizing that, just for anyone who maybe doesn't know. And now can you share, what are your own goals and priorities while you're in this position? You know, now that you're brand new, you're kind of coming in, what are some things that you're setting for yourself that you want to accomplish?
I think first and foremost would be building relationships. I already have a very good relationship with all of the board members individually, and most of the department heads as well. So really getting in there, building more relationships and that trust with our department heads, of course, our board members, but not only that, getting out there in the community and getting to know the nonprofits, the businesses, the business community. And that's what I have done here since I've been in this role. I've been extremely busy trying to get to every meeting, which is hard to manage, but I think that's very important to get to know what all of our wonderful organizations are doing for the community. When our board has an idea, that they are able to bring it to me, we can vet it out to see if there's anything we can do. So that's one of my main goals, is just really getting out there and learning more and more about the community. And that means community-wide. So all the businesses, all the nonprofit organizations, and bringing partnerships together so we can, because together, obviously, we can accomplish so much more.
Love it. So building relationships, building community partnerships. Beautiful. What do you think people might be surprised to know about this position or about the operation of the county?
Surprised. I guess the integration that this role has with the departments, with the department heads, with the board members, you know, and that I am working for the people of the community. I want to be that the liaison to be able to make things happen in the community. I think, well, Courtney, I could give you an example with our American Rescue Plan Act funds. We call them ARPA funds. That's just what the acronym is. And we were able to help out so many smaller businesses and community organizations, Stockton Downtown Alliance being one, which helped other businesses. We were able to help out veterans organizations, and we have a small business program, small business grant program. We were able to help out fire districts, cleaning up the community centers for the community, and that's what I really want to get out.
Awesome. Yeah, we were so grateful, to receive the ARPA funding that we did for the chamber support program, for the broken window repair program, the window wrap program, and a couple of other projects. So yeah, that was wonderful, the way that the ARPA funds were able to be distributed in the community to help everyone. What is the most common question that you get asked in your position? And how would you answer it?
And how would I answer that? I guess the most common, because then I get this firsthand from just my kids growing up, but what does a CAO do? What does a CEO do? And what does the office do? And so I guess my answer for the office, and I kind of hit on it a little bit, mainly our office, we are responsible to develop and maintain a budget that we bring to the board, and and working with our department heads to do that, again, adhering to the board strategic priorities. Let's see, for me personally, going back to managing the day-to-day functions of the county. And it's surprisingly because a lot of people don't know. Like if you go, if you go to, I don't know, an event and they say, oh, what do you do? And you go, you work for the county administrator's office. And what is a county administrator? And oftentimes they don't know their local government, which is, we need to get that out there. Because we have so many programs, as you know. I mean, there are so many programs. So, yeah.
There really are. And can you talk a little bit now about that relationship, the relationship between the county administrator and the Board of Supervisors? You know, like, how does that work? How are you guys working together?
We work really great together. But the relationship, I think it's very important, is building that trust, is having them, because they don't have the time. That's why they hired me to manage the day-to-day operations. They get to make the policy, and I need to make sure that we are adhering to it. You know, it would be great if we had a magic wand where we could just make these projects happen. And, you know, there's, for so many projects, whether it's a capital project, there's a permitting process we have to go through. There's so many things that are involved. And I think the relationship there is building that trust, that they know they can bring, if they have an idea or a project, if they bring it to me so that I can vet it along with my staff, vet it first to see, okay, how can we accomplish this? And maybe we can't always accomplish it. I mean, there's different reasons why too. It's not always just funding. There might be a reason why we can't, you know, do something in a certain area. It's not zoned for that. It's just, there's just different things. And so I think just with the relationship there is building that trust where they know that if they bring something to me, I'm going to look into it and bring them. They do count on me to give them a recommendation. And so I think that's I guess the simplest way to say what that relationship is.
Thank you. So they have, you know, ideas, projects, and like, we want to do this, and you're the one who can say, you know, okay, here's how we can do that, or no, maybe we can't quite do it how you're thinking, but let's come up with a
but
there's,
have you thought of this? Or maybe we can do this portion of it, and maybe not the full, or maybe do it in phases. Yeah, there's a lot of that. So, and I appreciate
awesome.
from them, they do at least respect my they know that I have vetted everything, and what I'm bringing them is a well thought out recommendation.
Wonderful. So are there any directives or projects that the Board of Supervisors has brought to you since you've taken on this role? And what work are you doing right now to carry some of those out?
Let's see, right now, if you've heard a couple of our board meetings, we've had, we are working on a lot of auditing of our grant funds that are going out there, whether that be for homelessness. You know, they want to see results. What are we getting for our funding? Which is great. I think we should be held accountable for that. You know, are the services really getting out there into the community? So that's one thing that we're working on currently, is trying to audit all of that, and we'll be bringing a report to the board. Let's see what else. You know, right now the board has, we're taking a look at divisions of certain departments to see where they're better aligned. Maybe it is in the same place that they're at, but they've asked me to take a look at different areas. And so I would say mainly it would be the audit, because we do want to find out if our funding is being used and going out to and if we're successful, are we seeing the results of what we want to see? As you know, with our ARPA, the American Rescue Plan Act funds, every quarter we have to report to the Department of the Treasury So we get to tell them what we're doing and spending on with every dollar. But once a year, they also have, which is we are also obligated to do, is to report. It's a performance, so I forgot what it's called, but it's a performance report. So that is actually, okay, of all the funding that went out, for instance, the Downtown Stockton Alliance, I'm just going to use that. So all that funding, then we need to report the results. What did you get? And what communities did you hit? And so that would be another thing that I will bring back to the board to report once I report that to the Department of the Treasury, because I think that's a good view of county government working and where we've been able to help the community with the funds and reporting that. I think reporting the results is really important.
Right, you're able to show the impact. You want to be able to report back and say, look, all of these millions of dollars, they went out and here's all the good that they did. So that's really, really important. And I'm sure the audit is going to be a very time-consuming process, but it's also so important to make sure, it's going to the right places.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some of the challenges that you're facing in this new position, if you can talk about them?
Wow. Challenges would be, not knowing, well, now they're going to pass the state budget, but always being nervous of what mandated programs might not be funded anymore. Because if they're, excuse me, sorry, I keep having to clear my throat. So that because if they're mandated, we still have to provide them, but then that hits the general fund. If you don't have funding, it makes it a lot harder. And so, but we have an obligation. So that is probably one of the biggest challenges. And then just locally, and this hits everyone, all the counties, I think all businesses, is recruitment and retention of employees. So I'm working with our human resources division and our departments to come up with some creative ideas of how we can, better recruit. The county and local government, it's a wonderful place to work. It's, a lot of great benefits, but once we get them here in our different departments, we want them to stay here. We don't want to be a training ground. And 2 or 3 years they move, the way that we are, where we are located, very easy for employees to drive to Sacramento, the Bay Area, so we have to compete with that. And it's not always about money. It's, valuing the employees. We want to make sure that they know they're valued. And we want them to stay. We want them to feel good about coming to work every day. So that's another challenge, is just trying to keep getting them here and keeping them.
Right. So since we're talking about, job openings and working for the county, do you have positions available right now for, work positions or volunteer positions? And how can people learn about those?
Oh, absolutely. We have a big list of county positions available, and you can access that through our human resources department. It's a job opportunities link. And if you look at sjgov.org, that is our website. From there, you can click on, there might be actual job opportunities link right on the homepage, but if not, you can click on the HR department, and then from there, job opportunities. And even if there's one that's not out there for recruitment, if you are interested in one, there's an interest card there. You just fill out your information, and then you'll get a notification if something does come up.
Wonderful. Thank you.
But there are a lot of jobs.
Anyone listening can check it out. Sounds like there's always a lot of opportunities available, and get your foot in the door, and then you can, grow from there.
Absolutely. That's what I've done.
Exactly. It works.
Yeah.
So Now can you tell us about the budget? How large is the San Joaquin County budget, and what is it like to manage something that size?
Yeah, it's pretty large. We just adopted our final budget for 24-25, and it is about just over 2.8 billion. And so that's overall for all of our county departments. And so just to manage it, it's hard, and I can't do it obviously by myself. We do have our staff it's headed by our chief deputy, who's the budget coordinator, and then all of our analysts. And our analysts are assigned departments, so they have their assignments working with each of their departments. So the departments have a lot to say about it, because you set up, we kind of tell them, okay, you have to meet this target, and then they have to work from there and try and figure out where it is that they need funding for the year. And with our analysts' help, that's how we get it going. But if you'd like, I can talk about, parts of the budget, who gets what, and that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, of the 2.8 billion, about 1.1 billion is for health services. So that includes the hospital, and they get about 46.4% of that. And then behavioral health gets another 31.2% of the 1.1 billion. So that's a good chunk of that. And then human services, which would be our CalWorks program and foster, all of those different programs that our HSA office and their administration covers, they have about 75% of that, 618.9 million. So that's those two, health services and human services, is a good bulk of the 2.8 billion. But then you go further into it, and what we call net county cost, or the general fund. So that's what's discretionary, and that's what has to make up the rest. Because the other health and human services, a lot of that is funded with state and federal. It's funded with state and federal funds. So we do have to pay some general fund dollars in there, but not nearly as much. So of the general fund, we support 444.1 million. Of the 2.8 billion, 444.1 million is funded by the general fund, or our net county cost. And of that portion, law and justice gets the bulk of that. I would say they represent, and I have it here, 258 million, or 58.08% of our discretionary funding that the board can designate for that. So law and justice is the top priority. So that's how that gets determined. So it's a big budget, and it's a big budget to manage, but every quarter this is how we manage it. So it's every day we kind of manage it with our department's help. And they have a really good fiscal staff. And they all have, if they have contracts, they usually have contracts managers. So everybody's watching the funding and the spending. And then our analysts work with them anytime if they need change. On a quarterly basis, we ask them to review along with our analysts. And so we kind of know at every 3 months where we're at that point in time, and where we think we're going to end at the end of the year. And we start to capture if there's going to be any issues, then we need to address those. How are you going to get it back in line? What have you put in place, and that? So yeah, that's how we manage it.
Good way to monitor, quarterly check-in, a little kind of dipstick of where are we now, and how can we tweak it as the year goes on.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a lot of work doing that type of review on every single department.
It really is. It really is.
Are there any new expenditures or programs that you want to talk about that have kind of come into the budget recently?
So new, I would say one program that we're starting is our SJ Cares program, and it is through our probation department. Um, and it's for addressing the homeless needs. And so they're just developing some new programs of that. We have an ad hoc, which includes 2 board members for the homelessness committee, and they're working with them, but it's called SJ Cares, San Joaquin Cares, and it's through our probation department.
So if anyone wants to learn more about that, I'm sure they can kind of go on the county site and look it up and see how to access that service. Awesome. So in your opinion, what makes the work of the county administrator so important for our community? You already talked about these expenditures are so important, spending on health, hospitals, spending on the justice system. But in your own opinion, what makes this work so important?
Well, making sure that, of course, obviously being fiscally responsible would make sure that we are able to provide the services to the community. So first and foremost, I guess I would say that being fiscally responsible is very important, because if we didn't have the funding or could not be responsible to distribute any of it correctly, then the community is going to suffer. We won't be able to provide services. But I think just because I think we take for granted the different services that living here as county residents that we do have. And so just listening to the community and their needs, that's why this position and our county office is so important, is to engage, to find out what it is that we need. Maybe we're going with programs that the community doesn't want. But yeah, just being here for the community, I think. And that includes everyone, meaning the businesses, our departments that provide some of these services, and just the nonprofits, because there are so many now. So, and yeah, so I think that's why this office is so important.
Definitely. Yeah, making sure we have the funding available to spend on these important services, these critical services. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then making sure you're listening to the community and kind of adjusting the budget, or making recommendations to adjust the budget as needed. So kind of speaking of the public, how can the public provide feedback regarding the budget or to the operations of the county if they have any? How can they submit that to you?
So now if they wanted to just send me information you're talking about, or because we have board meetings every twice a month, and the board calendar is on our website at sjgov.org. And they can come and speak at public comment at any board meeting if they'd like. But if they had a question or anything like that, they could certainly email me if they'd like. And that's my email address is sregalo, regalo, at sjgov.org. Or you can call our main line at 209-468-3203. It would be helpful if they actually had, if they're calling or contacting, just a little bit of the details of what it is their question would be. Because then, as I said, we have analysts assigned to certain areas, and it would be helpful because then we can get that assigned.
Thank you. Yeah, just, so if anyone does have questions, questions about the budget, or if you have something you want to share, maybe you've benefited from a service or a program, that the county's been running, and you want to say how great it was, you can come make a public comment. Or if you're thinking there's something missing in the community, you can also come to a meeting or, send Sandy your suggestion. So that's really important. I love to hear that. Thank you.
Mhm.
So your office is located right here in downtown, basically across the street from the DSA. That we have the county admin building here, just right in downtown. So I'm curious, and I'm hoping that you can recommend a couple of downtown Stockton lunch spots.
Um, I don't, these days it seems like I don't get out much anymore, but I
You're
do
too
have
busy.
a few. I do have a few. So cast iron down here is really great because it's close. I really love the kebab and gyro place, which is, I believe, on Hunter. Okay. And I like for Mexican food, Xochimilco down the street or Maria's. Um, and I don't know, Irma's is down on Weber, a few blocks. So that is great for Mexican food. Um, I love Masaki's for Japanese. Um, let's see, Yasuyani's for Greek. I love food in general. So those would probably be my favorite go-to spots that I really like. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of great shout outs. So everyone got some love. Thank you. A lot of great downtown spots. I agree. I do love Misaki's, especially love them.
Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of my questions. So if anyone does have any audience questions that you guys would like to ask, please make sure you type it in now so that we can ask it to Sandy while we've got her here. And my last two questions, I've got, how can people get in touch with you if they have any other questions about anything that you talked about today? And then is there anything that you might want to share before we move on to the audience questions? Those are my two last ones.
As far as contacting me again, my email address is sregalo@sjgov.org. Or they can call at 209-468-3203. And I'm hoping if I'm out there, I guess I would say, if I'm out there in the community, which I am quite a bit, trying to attend different things, going to meetings, please come up and introduce yourself if you're from a small business, an organization, because I do want to get to know everyone in the community. I've lived in this county my entire life. But there's a lot of businesses and nonprofits, and I've learned so much just working here. So I know I do have some experience, but don't be shy. Please come up and introduce yourself and tell me a little bit about, that's how we learn. And, and if I can do something for them, I would like to know.
I love it. So make sure you say hi to Sandy if you see her.
Or at a restaurant. If I'm ever down there at the downtown restaurants, I would like that as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sandy, for answering all of my questions. And at this time, I am going to open it up and see if there are any audience questions. Let's discover. Okay, so far, I don't see any. So while we're waiting, I'll give you guys a chance in case you do have questions for Sandy to type in. I want to remind everyone that this video has been streaming live, and it will be uploaded on our YouTube channel where we are at Downtown Stockton, and it has been streaming live to X where we are at Downtown STKN as well. So check it out, share it with people so they can learn more about what the county administrator does and all the great work that they're doing for us in our community. Okay, so far I don't see questions. Let's see. All right, we'll give it a couple of minutes.
Courtney, what are some of your favorite lunch spots to help me?
Downtown. Oh yeah, okay. I actually agree with you. I get the kebab and gyro place often. I do like Misaki's. I go to Alfalfa's as well. I like to get pizza sometimes, yeah. Like a little slice of pizza, a little vegetarian pizza. I also love the Bagel Cafe. They have the best like croissant sandwiches. They're so good.
Is that the one on the corner there?
Yes, right there in the
Okay,
courthouse plaza. Yeah,
in the
that
courthouse
one.
plaza.
Love that
Yes,
one. Yeah,
I do. I
exactly.
have had one of those. That is delicious. I didn't realize that was the name of it.
Aren't
Yeah.
they so good? It's just
Yes,
like
very
so
good.
delicious fresh croissant.
Yes.
Yeah, I those are some of my favorites, my common favorite ones. I
Okay,
also
good.
like to drink coffee, so I
So do I.
am often ordering from Impresso and
Yes.
Plaza
Yeah.
Perks. Okay, so I don't see any comments, so I'm going to go ahead and take it that there may not be any questions. Maybe they're just, people were curious and just wanted to know what you said earlier in the live. So before we close out, Sandy, is there anything else that you want to share with people about the work that you guys are doing? Anything that people should know about the county or the budget or just anything in general before we close out?
Well, I guess I would say, I think, Courtney, you hit on it a little bit earlier in one of your comments, is, and I realize that people will reach out if they need something, or if, hey, I have an idea, which we want to hear. I love that. I think it's great. But I think it would be great too if you do agree with something that maybe the board has approved, a service that it's providing, to hear that good feedback as well, just to come in and say, or send me an email or give me a call and just say, I think this is a good project that you're doing, or keep up the good work with the program that you're doing, because I think getting that feedback to the board is really important as well. It kind of solidifies that, all of their hard work and all of the hard work that the county employees are doing, that it's for something. It's reaching the community, and that is what our ultimate goal is. So yeah, either way, we'd like to hear the feedback.
Yeah, share your appreciation. Let
Yeah.
them know it's going well. You guys are doing a good job.
That's right. That's right.
Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you so much, Sandy, for your time today. Thanks for answering these questions and for taking on this huge role. You're doing such great work. You've been doing such great work for years, and now you've got like a new opportunity to do it in a different way, even bigger way. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks for all the work that you're doing in our community.
All right. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate it, and I hope people will
Awesome.
contact me with good news.
We'll see you. We'll see you in downtown restaurant.
Yes, I will.
And thank you so much, viewers, for tuning in. I hope you learned a little bit about what the county administrator does and a little bit about the budget. So with that, I want to say thanks, everyone, and have a great day downtown. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.